live in a developing country with few job opportunities. So you decide to look into options for making money in other countries, money that you will send to your family back home. Employment agencies or employment brokers offer lucrative opportunities in foreign countries. However, there are fees involved. Fees for your passport, visa, airfare, and broker's fee. Your family is anxious for you to make money in rich countries, so they scrape up all the money they have so you can go pursue this lucrative opportunity. The broker tells you that you will be working at the front desk of a luxury hotel or even a housekeeper in the hotel where you will receive extra tips. You will also get 1 or 2 days off per week. However, the reality is that you will be working as a housekeeper and cook in someone's home if you're a female. You will also be taking care of the children. Your employer holds on to your passport. You do not get any days off. You will often be locked inside the house, will not be fed, and will have to cover up in heavy clothing, regardless of the climate, for religious reasons or so that you don't attract the man of the house. So you picture yourself at a front desk or making nice fluffy beds in a hotel. It's not so bad. When you get there, it's going to be far different. You're going to be on your hands and knees scrubbing all the time. You're going to be cooking over a hot stove in a hot oven. Often you don't even get to eat. And you'll have plenty of messes to clean up. After cooking, cleaning, taking care of the children all day long with very little sleep, you're lucky if there's any food left for you. 8 hours sleep, you can forget about that. You're lucky if you get 3 or 4 hours sleep per night. Now, please keep in mind that this scenario certainly does not apply to everybody that comes from overseas to work in a home, especially in the Middle East, or I'm going to mention other countries too, including my own. Okay? Some of the people that travel overseas to work for other families in other countries, of course, are treated very well. Okay, some of them get to go home to visit their family maybe once or twice per year, get to speak with their family on the phone maybe once a week. But that's not the topic of this video, because the unfortunate scenario that I just discussed is happening all too often. And it's because of something that exists in the Middle East and other countries called the kafala system, where you are kind of sponsored by the family you're working for. They pay for you, so they think they own you, literally. Modern day slavery. I have pretty much watched every video on YouTube for about the last 8 years or so, and this has always been on my mind and has always bothered me. And yes, it is a scam when you're told you're going to be doing one thing, getting a certain salary, going to be having certain human rights, and when you get there, none of that happens. But like I said, this doesn't happen to everybody, but it's common enough that there are human rights groups who are trying to stop it. I decided to take a look at it again, and it hasn't really improved. I was hoping that with time the system would improve. And despite the human rights workers that are trying to help the people that are stuck in these countries, it's still happening with disastrous results in some cases. I invite you to look at these videos and even do a Google search. You will hear some major horror stories. Some of the horror stories that happen to these foreign workers are all types of abuses, whether sexual or even murder. Uh, if the house worker gets desperate enough that they want to take their own life, um, they have hot scalding water poured on them, acid thrown at them, every kind of abuse that you could imagine. If you think the migrant men have it any easier, think again. How do you think all those beautiful skyscrapers, especially in the United Arab Emirates, were built? In 100-degree, 110-degree weather, no breaks, no water, very little food, if any. They live in these squalid little camps after work, and they work much of the day. They get very little sleep. It's a bad situation for everyone. I admit I have wanted to visit these countries, these cities, but I really can't do it with a clear conscience until I see things changing. All the glitz and glamour is not the whole picture. Often, the workers are not even paid. Sometimes their employers or sponsors say that they owe them back for the money they outlaid for them. This video is not to insult any country. It's just to say that this has to change. This is not fair. America, my country, there are places in my country that are guilty of this as well. In addition to the United Kingdom and some other European countries, and Singapore and some other countries in Asia. In fact, I'm pretty sure all over the world this goes on, although not as badly as in the Arab countries. And this is not to put down the Arabs, because I know there are very many good people there as well. But unfortunately, the abuses that take place ruin it for anybody who wants to go travel overseas. But like I said, there are some situations where the foreign worker is treated by the host family like they're part of the family. If you go through some of those videos, you'll see there's a girl that's working for a Lebanese family, and there's a lot of horror stories out of Lebanon, but there's one really nice, heartwarming story where the family loves her and she's going home to visit, and they're really sad to see her go, and she's treated very well. And I'm sure there are many instances where this occurs as well. You can't say all or nothing for any situation, like I said, but we've got to try harder and raise awareness of this. The migrant worker scam, I say, is a very big scam. Worse than a scam where as if a catfish is trying to romance us. I mean, they're all horrible. But we who are living in free countries and who are not rich, of course, but who are at least getting by, can do a little bit of homework and say no to the scammer on the other end. Think of these people from destitute countries where they are desperate to go and earn some money for their family. They don't have many choices, and for them we need to pray and support any human rights groups. There's a Human Rights Watch group, there's an Amnesty International, and if you do a Google search, you'll find a lot. Make sure they're a legitimate organization now. Watch some of those videos. I only showed a few of them. There are pages and pages of them on YouTube, and tons of articles, and try to look at the most recent ones, and then go back and look at the older ones and see how much has changed. There have been occurrences where a country that was sending over the workers would temporarily stop until there were legitimate contracts between the countries. And unfortunately, in some cases, there'd always be some little sleazy side guy that would try to get them over and say that this way's easier, just do this. And, they're getting the crappy end of the deal then if they don't do it the legitimate way. And we need to pray for these people. And if we ever have somebody come to our countries, of course, once we check about it, they're vetted, okay? Once they're vetted, we need to treat them with respect and like human beings. Okay, that's it for today. This has been on my mind for a long time. I may have some updates because this has been weighing heavily on my mind for years. And let's just hope for the best for everyone and try to support those organizations that are worthy and want to help these people. And a lot of the YouTube videos are put out by these organizations. So I encourage you to follow them if you'd like to help in any way. And I'd like to send my love and good wishes to everybody in every country, every religion, every nationality, every race around the world. I love you all. Bye-bye.